Hello, and welcome to another episode of Contact. I'm your host, Sylvia Rosenberg. The topic of tonight's program is working with disabled students in the composition classroom. Tonight we have two amazing guests joining us. Dr. Elspeth Corman, a professor of rhetoric and composition at Barnard College and author of the book, Writing in the Dark. Also joining us this evening is Giovanni, a recent graduate of the University of Albany's Rhetoric and Composition Master's Program. Congratulations, Joey! First, I want to thank our guests for joining us this evening and discussing some very important issues. Now, Elizabeth.
Actually, Sylvia, it's Elspeth.
Oh my God! I'm so sorry! So, now, Elspeth here has had plenty of experience working with disabled students. In fact, Elspeth, I heard your book was inspired by a blind student you worked with as a PhD candidate. Is that correct?
Yes, Sylvia, that's true. His name was Alejandro Carrera, and I worked with him during my PhD studies at Carnegie Mellon. In fact, he was one of our brightest students, and I worked with him for several years.
That is wonderful, Elspeth. Just amazing. I read your book last week. I'm going to be honest here. I got a little verklempt. Very touching. Now, Joey, I know you just finished your master's program, but have you had any experience working with disabled students in the composition classroom?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to say thanks for having us on your show.
Oh, don't worry.
What was your name again?
My name is Sylvia Rosenberg.
Sylvia, you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I haven't really taught disabled students per se, but my little brother has ADD.
Really?
And my bandmate Weasel.
Weasel? Oh dear.
Weasel.
Oh, Joey.
Weasel lost his index finger and his thumb when he was shredding.
Shredding?
He was shredding so fast on the guitar.
Oh dear.
I was at a gig at my ex-girlfriend Deborah's little brother's Eli's bar mitzvah 3 years ago.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, Joey.
It's okay. So to answer your question, Sylvia, no.
Okay.
I haven't taught disabled students.
Okay.
But I'm no stranger to working with individuals who have some sort of disability. I had to make a lot of accommodations for Weasel when he lost his digits.
Oh my.
By the way, my band, the Lou Ferrignos, is playing a show over at Rhythm and Brews in Staten Island on Richmond Road tomorrow night. Whoa!
Oh, right. Okay. Well, thank you two so much for joining us this evening. I'm sure our guests are going to really enjoy what you've got to say tonight. Now let's get down to business. Our first topic to discuss is the stigma and stereotypes often associated with disabled individuals. All right. Now, Leonard Davis, a real smarty when it comes to disability studies, has examined the origins and historical frameworks of the normal body in order to understand the disabled body. So I'm going to give you a topic, okay? Davis, a veritable Yiddisher cop, smart guy, literally Jewish head, claims that novels of the 18th and 19th century have reproduced on some level the semiologically normative signs, and this normativity narrative will be definition enough to create the abnormal, the other, the disabled, the native, the colonized subject, and so on. So keep that in mind, and I'm going to give you another topic. Another real smarty pants, Loretta Coleman, states in her essay, Stigma, an Enigma Demystified, that the conceptualization of stigma also indicates that those possessing power, the dominant group, can determine which human differences are desired and undesired. Coleman also suggests that stigmatized people are needed in order for non-stigmatized people to feel good about themselves. So Elspeth, Joe, how do you feel about this? Do you agree with these theories of Davis and Coleman? Are we a society that needs stigmatized people to reaffirm normalcy?
Well, Sylvia, I do have to say that there are some holes in their theories.
Fair enough.
There are some holes. You see, in my time working with Alejandro, I did not feel as if I needed him there so that I felt normal. I felt normal quite often. In fact, I felt better than normal most of the time.
Alright.
And the institution that I was in even made some exceptions for dear Alejandro. You see, with this subject being blind, he could not read signs, and the university gave him ways to overcome that.
Like Braille.
Yes.
Very
Braille.
interesting. Interesting. I see. So, Joe, do you agree with Elspeth? Do you think...
I don't agree with Elspeth, but that's okay. We can agree to disagree, you know?
I suppose.
My friend Weasel, my bandmate, my friend,
Lost his digit.
he lost his digit, so we might be out eating some cake and he can't pick up his fork. Okay, now that's real sad, right? but me and Weasel, we're the same. He just ain't got no digits, and I do. And then my little brother, he's got ADD, and he's off running around. He can't concentrate on nothing. He's looking over there, and he's looking over there, and he's looking over there. So, but he's the same. He's just looking over there, and I'm looking over there. Well, we're all the same, really.
Are you implying, Mr. Giovanni, that everybody is the same, that there is no difference with disability?
Well, I think what Joey's saying is that maybe we don't need stigmatized people to feel normal. Well, you know.
I certainly don't.
Well, we kind of have a time limit on the show, but so we're gonna go on to the next topic. Just kind of relates, but thank you for sharing your opinions with us.
Yes, thank you.
Now, before we move on to the next topic of writing workshops and disabled students, I want to briefly discuss the idea of performative roles. Real quick, I want to talk about Judith Butler and her definition of performativity for our audience. Do you know Judith Butler?
I know Judy.
Judy! Oh my! Wow!
Big shot.
Oh my! Okay.
Big shot.
All right.
In our presence.
Okay, Joey. In her book, Gender Trouble, Butler claims acts, gestures, and desire produce the effect of an internal core or substance, but produce this on the surface of the body through the play of signifying absences that suggest, but never reveal, the organizing principle identity as a cause. Such acts, gestures, enactments, generally construed, are performative in the sense that the essence or identity that they otherwise purport to express are fabrications manufactured and sustained through corporeal signs and other discursive means. Okay, so I introduced Judy's idea here to illustrate some interesting points that Amy Vidali, a fellow Rhet Comp scholar, makes in her essay, Performing the Rhetorical Freak Show. Okay? Vidali states that students with disabilities, like all students, are prone to representing themselves the way they think they should look, regardless of how they would prefer to represent or not represent their disability identities. Vidali also believes disability can serve as an innovative lens through which to recognize the diversity of all students, writers, and writing. So that said, let's discuss. Elspeth, Joey, what do you think? Do you think students perform a role they have learned to play from the fabrications manufactured and sustained through corporeal signs and other discursive means to which Judy Butler refers?
I don't know what them words are you're saying, but even though I got a master's degree in rhetoric composition, but I will say this, and this is the only thing I'm going to say about this.
Okay.
Are you listening?
Say, I want to hear it. I want you to say it. Don't worry about what we feel. Just say it.
If I said it right now, would that be okay?
That's okay with
Okay,
me.
I'm going to say it.
Elspeth, okay? Okay.
Please.
Say, please.
My boy Weasel, all right?
Yeah.
He could do anything he wanted to do. There's one reason that he can't teach us like this, bro.
Oh my! Welcome to Comp Talk! Elspeth, what do you have to say?
Well, I agree with it on whole. But there again are some holes. In my book, recently published, Writing in the Dark.
Writing in the dark. Very interesting.
Yes, I talk about this idea of performance. And I feel that it is much more complicated than they are stating. And in fact, Alejandro never knew what he looked like, so how could he be performing anything? Oh, Judy.
Interesting. Well,
Very,
I wish we had more time to talk, but
very interesting.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I think I need a break. When we come back, we'll be discussing teaching autobiography in the classroom and writing workshops with disabled students. So get yourself a cup of coffee, but don't go too far because we're going to be right back.